Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I'm sitting in the 2025 GMC Yukon. This will also apply for the 2026 models. Here are some settings that you need to know about, just something that can help you out with the vehicle. We're going to go to Settings, Vehicle, and you can go into Audio Settings to start with, so you can see what you can change right here. This is pretty simple stuff, but just to show you what's here, if you want to use the Bose Audio Pilot, you can turn that on or off right there. Your sound mode, depending on what you want, here are a few different options where that is concerned. You can go with normal, driver, center point, or rear. It just depends on what your personal preferences is where that's concerned. Your fade and balance, all of that's here. Pretty easy to figure out in case you were wondering where that is. Setting up teen driver mode is very simple. We're just going to go to continue right here, and you're going to put in your key. Now I'm just going to put in a very simple little key right here, and then you're going to have that green arrow that comes up. It's a 4-digit code. That way you know that it's done. We're going to do that one more time. We're going to confirm, and then we hit the check mark right there, and then your teen driver pin is set. Make sure your teen doesn't necessarily know the code. I don't think they need to, but here's the good thing. You can look at the report card. You can see what they've done. Now, there's not anything here to talk about or show because I haven't driven the vehicle. Plus, I'm not a teen, but it would still show up. You can change the pin if you need to. You can add or remove teen driver keys. Now, that is a very important point because the remote that you have or the key fob that you have in your possession when you set this is what will be recognized when the vehicle is driven. So if you have two fobs and one wasn't used and one was to set two different pins, well, that's a good thing to know about. And just to be nice, I'm going to go ahead and clear the pin. That's how easy it is to do that, so that whoever buys this Yukon will not have to worry about dealing with a pin they don't know. And pretty simple things here. You can turn rear seat reminder off and on, buckle to drive. You can do the same thing. I do recommend that you use your seatbelt when you drive. How about your climate and air quality? Let's see what comes up there. You have auto fan speeds that you can set. Did you know about that? Very easy to figure this stuff out, but just so you can see what's here. Medium, low, high, whatever you want. We're just going to leave that where it's set right there. The cooled and ventilated seats on startup. Now the vehicle will sense that it needs to turn those on. It will turn them on. If you want them off, it will just be that easy as turning it off like that. You can do the same thing with the heated seats, your auto defog, rear defog. You can turn that on to auto as well. That way that comes on when you first get into your Yukon in the morning. Now, in fact, we'll go back in here one more time and take a look at everything, and we'll go here to speed assist. And there's quite a few different things here that'll help you out. Now, you have your traffic sign recognition. If you want that on or off, you can turn that on and off. Your adaptive cruise control from signs, that's something you can turn on as well. And if you're wondering what these are, there is going to be a description there. So I'm not going to take the time to go into all of that just to show you what's going on here. We're just going to run through, but just to give you an idea of what's going on. Chime when speeding. Well, you can turn that on if you want to, or you can leave it off. But that might be a good thing to have on when your teen is driving too. New speed limit chime. Now that's nice to have when you're driving and you want to take the back way, the country roads where the speed limit goes from 65 to 45 to 30 in about a 30-foot span. Okay, maybe that's a little exaggerated, but it's kind of close to. And adaptive cruise go notifier. You can turn that on and off right there. And let's go down here, collision detection systems. Pretty easy to figure out what's going on here. I'm not going to go through everything, but some of these you can change the alert to alert and brake, or alert or just off, depending on what you want to do. So all you have to do is go into each of these depending on what you want to do and either make changes, turn them off. You can see with side bicyclist alert, lane change alert, some of these are either on or they're off. And again, you have your description over there if you need to know exactly what that does. And moving along to lighting, you don't have a lot here to talk about, but if you want the animated lights, well, you can do that. That's going to be those lights that I've shown in a lot of my videos where they do the animation when you hit the button to unlock the vehicle, all that kind of stuff. If you want static, if you want that off. There, how about your power door locks? So you have auto door unlock. You can do all doors. You can do delayed door lock if you want to. That's on or off. remote lock, unlock, and start. Depending on what you want to do right here, there are a few different things. If you want the remote unlock light feedback, you can turn that on and off. In fact, we can go right there. There you go. You can see on and off. You also have that check mark right there. Remote lock feedback or remote door unlock. You've got all of that. Lights and horn as far as that goes. If you want lights only, if you want horn only, or if you just want to turn that feature off, you can do that. Remote start, again, cooled and ventilated seats. If you want that to come on when you remote start the vehicle, you can do that. As you know, at least I think most people know this, when you remote start the vehicle, it's not going to go into drive and nothing is on with the screens. The engine is running, the air can be running depending on how you set things, but everything isn't going to come to life and you can't go into drive until you push this button. That way, a little bit of a safety feature there for those who may want to know about that. Remote window operation. Now what you can do here is actually use the remote to roll the windows down. You just hold the button down and basically what it does, it says when on, the remote key, your fob, can control your power windows. Now I do have a video on how to do that, a tutorial on how to do that. It's pretty simple. And we'll go down here one more time. A couple more things to talk about. Passive door unlock. If you want the driver's door only, you can do that. If you want all doors, if you want that off. There's another one of those features that has multiple options. Key left in vehicle reminder. What that's going to do is if you leave the key in the vehicle when you get out, it's going to honk the horn a couple of times to alert you to the fact that the remote, the key fob, is still in the vehicle. Also the alert for the key removed from the vehicle right there. And how about ride height? Now there's not a lot going on here. There's one thing. It's easy exit vehicle height, and you can turn that on or off. And as you can see, there again, it lets you know that the vehicle will automatically lower when you shift into park, just to make it easier to get in and out, in case you're wondering exactly what that is. So not a lot to talk about there, but power assist steps. Now this is good to know because there's a few different things you can do. If you want them to come on or come out from under the vehicle automatically and go back under, depending on if the doors are open or not, well, you can do that. So that's on or off. But how about move power assist steps? If you want them to stay deployed, say you're washing your Yukon, you can do that. Now, one important note here is that they will still stow back under the vehicle, whether you have it set to deploy or not, when you go into drive. I've had people ask about that. Unfortunately, there is no way to keep them deployed while you're driving. I know people might want to know about that. There is the answer where that is concerned. Now, seating position. This is actually a really nice feature to know about. When you're getting in or out of the vehicle, you can preset where the driver's seat will be. So here's what we have. If we go in here to seat memory for exit and we turn that on, well, depending on where you want the seat, it'll actually move back and make it easier to get out. We can also turn that off. And the same thing will happen with your seat memory on entry. The seat, once you get in and start the vehicle, will go into place where you want it to be, where you're driving. And again, keep in mind, these things are based on the remote that has been used to program everything, or used when you program everything, just so you know. How about suspension? Not much there. You have service mode, really nothing to talk about, really anything you need to know where that is concerned, because you're not going to be servicing your own vehicle. And last but not least, if transport mode is enabled, here's where you come to turn that off. Pretty simple. If there's something you'd like to know about the Yukon that I didn't talk about in today's video, tell me down in the comments section. I may already have a video to answer that, so I'll post a link if that's the case. Thanks for taking the time to watch. As always, I appreciate your time. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.